Good night,
Good
everyone.
afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Amiri and Yahya back at it.
Super excited to be back with you, and it's nighttime, so excuse the lighting. I am ready for bed, so you getting a robe. Y'all will see a lot of robes, so just prepare your eyes for the beauty. Tonight, though, and I do have notes because we have a list. Tonight, we wanted to talk about 9 lessons. We've been married 9 years now. This is our 10th year of marriage. Congratulations to us. And so we want to share 9 lessons that we've learned in 9 years of marriage. Now, disclaimer. And I know a few of my YouTube friends are not fans of disclaimers, but I do have to say these are our lessons. If this don't fit for you, it's all good. It's not a big thing.
Right.
We're not saying you have to learn these lessons.
Tips from our side
Yes.
of the park. So
Yes.
hopefully they'll be helpful to you. And if not, just like us, you'll find, your own sauce and your own flavor.
Right. Take what works, leave what doesn't. This is what has worked for us, and it's not necessarily tips as much as it is perspective.
Yeah, just sharing out what we've been through over the years.
Right. So we're gonna get right into it.
All right. So the first lesson is investment. Investment in yourself first and foremost. And man, so after 9 years of marriage, I say from half of that on back, that's when you realize, damn, I need to really be catering to myself in order to cater to others. Fill your cup to fill everyone else's cup. Mm-hmm. And that's one of the main. That's the first lesson because it's one of the most important. Just to make sure that you are well equipped to deal with the entities in the household, especially for me. Like, I know one of the main things I have to do for myself is wake up early before everybody else, mm-hmm. to conduct my get myself ready, make sure my mannerisms are together to be able to receive everybody else. And because I know me, and that's another thing. Learn yourself, know what you can do for to be effective for everybody else in the household. And that's the number one investment I make for myself is mm-hmm. to get up early every morning to prepare myself for everybody else, and just to set my day accordingly. Mm-hmm. So that's one. And there's many more, but that's the main one for me.
And when you take time to know yourself, you know what to invest in. Sometimes we are so focused on everyone else, your partner, your children, if you have children, investing for your career, investing for financial growth. But really what we're talking about is investing in yourself personally. Mm-hmm. I've been a big self-investor for forever now. And you've always been very, very supportive of me investing in myself. But that's always something that I knew in order to fully realize the potential of the marriage, of myself as a woman, of myself as a mother, as a wife, then I would have to learn things that I did not know. I would have to pick up different habits that I didn't already have. And those things, a lot of times we write them down, we make a list, we say, these are my resolutions. It's December 29th, so everybody's making resolutions. But we don't always know that in order to keep those things, in order to keep the promises that you make to yourself, in order to keep the promises that you make to the marriage, you've got to investing yourself on a personal level, and you've also got to invest in the union. Sometimes I personally, as a coach, have seen so many marriages that could have worked. Mm-hmm. Now, I've seen some marriages that
don't need to work.
Let it go, sis and bro. But I've seen so many marriages that could have worked, right? I've seen so many marriages that could have worked had there not been a disconnect in their skills, had there not been a disconnect in their knowledge. Because what we always have to remember in a marriage is that it's two different backgrounds coming together. And you're going to have to learn a new set of skills to be able to build something new together. And so investment is the quickest, easiest, most pain-free way to learn those things. And that comes from a financial investment, but also from time investment. Like he said, one of his biggest investments is waking up before everyone. And there are things that he learns about himself during that time. There are messages that he gets from the Most High during that time that if he didn't set aside that time, if he just woke up when everyone else woke up, just walked right into a busy day every day, and we know because that's how we had done it for so long, then those messages would never come, and that would hinder the growth of our family. Before he started waking up before everyone, it was a huge hindrance for him to wake up when everyone else was waking up. And I think it's become normal for us to be like, oh, well, this is just the way it is. This is how it is. This is just so frustrating. When you have kids, you just miss out on things, or you never get time to yourself, or you never get to go to sleep. No, you have to decide that you're going to make the investments that you need to make in yourself personally to have the kind of life that you want to have the kind of household and the kind of marriage that you want to have. Because had we not invested in learning communication, we might not be here right now.
Yeah, and it's extremely frustrating to feel that and not know why. Mm-hmm. And, you have to get to the point you have to look within. You have to pay attention to yourself. Mm-hmm. It's like letting someone else tune your instrument, so to speak.
Yes.
Now, I love my kids. I love my kids. Every parent on here that's watching know that they love their kids, but all the time, we're not gonna. So having the kids wake me up is
letting them set the tone.
It's letting them set the tone. It's chaotic. Mm-hmm. I'm a very calm individual, and I have to calm my way into the day. I know that about myself. Some people like to be bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, just so you might get sprung up with the kids like that. But I know me personally, and I recommend this for any adult or any parent, especially parents running businesses, all that. Busy parents, calm yourself, calm your way into the day. We even implicate that with the kids. I make them meditate or read or draw every morning now.
Yes.
So, but I wouldn't have known to do that if I didn't dedicate that time for myself. Mm-hmm. So just don't let your kids tune your horns. I know that was corny, but don't let them tune your horns.
It's true, but that's in the vein of investment. If you invest in an instruments are not cheap. And so, good instruments are not cheap. So making sure that as much as you love your children, as much as you love your spouse, that you are the one who is tuning your instrument. So that's the first lesson. Second is be clear in your mission and flexible in your navigation. So if you guys have been watching us from the beginning, we know we took a big break, but we've been saying this for a long time. Mission is the most important thing for us. Knowing before we even decided we were going to get married, when we were just friends, we were talking about what our personal missions were, what we wanted to see happen in our life, where we were going, what the intended destination was. Be clear in that. But one of the things that often happens in marriages, especially, and I could say this happened for us for sure, when you get in the car and start driving, Oh, we, especially us ladies, I'm in the passenger seat, like pressing the gas, ain't no gas pedal over there. Moving the wheel, ain't no wheel over there. We have to be flexible in the navigation. As long as everyone keeps the mission in mind, we are headed in the right direction. We have to know that there are going to be detours on the road. There are going to be bridges that are shut down sometimes. There's going to be construction in the way. There's going to be areas where you have to slow down and areas where you have to speed up. And we still working on that. My husband is not a fast person at all. He just told y'all he is calm as it gets. But everyone in the car has to be flexible with the navigation. How are we getting where we're going? Because sometimes you're going to have to be outside of your comfort zone to help the whole team get where they need to go. And each person needs to be willing to step outside of their comfort zone to make sure that we actually get there. Because talking about it is one thing, strategizing, visioning, all of that is beautiful and wonderful. But you got to get in the car and you got to accelerate it sometimes. And you've got to slow down sometimes. You got to also be willing to turn around and go back sometimes. So be flexible in how you're navigating to get to the mission, because sometimes things pop up that no one could have ever expected. But keeping the goal, keeping the destination in mind, you can together work around those obstacles. So be clear in your mission, but flexible in your navigation.
Yeah,
I should
mission
say be clear in the destination and flexible in the navigation. I'm about to give y'all some Jesse Jackson around here.
Yeah. Keep hope alive.
Yeah.
But being mission focused, the components are very important. And what she said is very true though. You have to be able to switch it up. Mm-hmm. But like a mission, a military mission or whatever, different components, calmness, the readiness, or whatever, however you want to label it. Everybody has a role to play. Even if you have kids, everybody's attributes or attitudes or the way they are is components that can help move the mission forward. Know your partner's strengths. You know what I'm saying? And each and every component is important. Mm-hmm. But once again, knowing how to tweak them as well. That's always helpful.
And if you have not taken the Feminine Success Masterclass, shameless plug, if you have not taken the master training, there is an entire section on getting on the same page, understanding your strengths, understanding your weaknesses, all of that. And it's spelled out for you in the guide, worksheets, the whole nine. So if you are having a hard time having those kinds of conversations, what is our mission? Where are we going? How are we navigating to get there? That resource is available, and I'll make sure to link that in the description.
Yeah. All right.
So number three lesson. This one is super good, y'all. Lean in, because this one is really good. The culture that you create together is greater than the tradition that has been created for you. Because when you come together, even if you're coming together from different backgrounds, different cultures, different upbringings, we are from different upbringings. We're from the same culture. We're both African American, but there's so much nuance within African American culture that we still are from two completely different cultures. But the culture that you create when you come together with a person, you are now creating a new culture. And deciding on what that culture is going to be, working towards that, is much more important than any traditional ideas or ideals. And I know, listen, we honor the Most High, we honor our ancestors, we honor the people who came before us, and we know that they had wisdom, they had knowledge 100%. And we also have to realize that their relationships were not always happy ones. They did not always grow to their full potential in their relationships. They did not always become their best selves and leave the best legacy. So we have to also honor that we are creating culture together.
There's a wonderful saying, and I'm gonna take a page out of one of my best bros did an awesome live recently. I'm gonna pull a page from it. So there's a wonderful artist in New Orleans, B Mike, who does the Studio B.
Yes, Studio B. Shout out Studio B.
And he has a tagline that is very famous now. He's made it very famous. I am my ancestors' wildest dream. You are your ancestors' wildest dreams when you build upon these traditions. Going back to the previous message, mission focused, a lot of our ancestors did it for as just the mission. Okay, we're going to make this thing go through. Whether we love each other or not, love will come.
It was survival.
Love will come, but we're going to survive through this thing. And just even that, now we have the mindset of thriving. So think about how our ancestors applaud us when we do that. You know, building on what the foundation they laid. You know, because that, we can't overshadow that. We can't look past that. Even though they did it that way, with those traditions, it was definitely a foundation, another foundation laid before us that we get to build upon. So definitely that.
And I think about, you know, when we first married, we both actually had very traditional ideals. This is what marriage should look like. This is what home life should look like. And what we quickly realized is that it's not that it didn't work. It's that it limited us so much. Like, we were fine, really, with him going to work and bringing home the bacon and me being home with the kids and all of that. But what we quickly realized was that if we wanted a life of full-time travel, if we wanted a life of high-level impact, if we wanted to really show our children what entrepreneurship, growth, investment, what all of those things look like, we were going to have to create a new culture. We could not build on the tradition that was created by or created within a society where women could not work, where the opportunities that were available to us as Black people were only so much, so we're trying to live inside of these boxes. What we realized was that the box was created in survival mode. And you cannot thrive inside of a box that was only designed for you to survive. Maybe survive well, but surviving is low-level thriving. And so that's what I mean when I say the culture that you're creating is greater than the traditions that have been created for you. It's really understanding that it's your job to continue to improve those traditions, not stay at the level that our ancestors were at. Because if we do that, then what shoulders do our children really have to stand upon? I think about, we've had boys this whole time, but now we have a daughter. And just seeing how she sees me, be a mom, she sees me be nurturing and loving, and she also sees me be a businesswoman. And she wants all of that. She doesn't just want a little piece of it. My sons don't just want a piece of a woman. They want a whole woman. They don't want to just be a piece of a man who goes to work and you never see daddy all day. They now have an idea and a clear example of what it means to be a whole man. So we really have to move beyond what has been traditionally shaped for us, so that we can begin to shape a new world, bigger and better relationships with what my husband always says, well-rounded human beings, not just 100% feminine women and 100% masculine men, but whole human beings that are able to be dynamic and not just static. So that I had to share that one, because That's such an important piece for us, because that was something that, honestly, y'all, I wrestled with it. I wrestled with stepping out of tradition. I wrestled with having so much gift, talent, skill, wisdom, insight within me, and also feeling like, but I don't want to have to work. I don't want to have, and I don't have to work. But still feeling like, well, I shouldn't, because I should just let him do everything. And it's like, what good does that really do other than uphold the image of? So often we're more focused on what the world is going to think when they look at us, and they see this and that and all these things. But the truth of the matter is, are you going to be able to go to God when it's all said and done and hear, well done? Really?
Yeah, and many of us been missing out this whole time, because it's like you prohibit one. Mm-hmm. So if I mean, just feminine success wouldn't have been born if we did it traditionally.
Right.
And Show Thyself a Man wouldn't have been born if we did it traditionally, because I saw her example and was like, oh shit, I have a blueprint of what I want to do for men. Mm-hmm. So you feed off of each other that way when you build on tradition and allow each other to live purposefully. You know what I'm saying? Allow each other to simply live instead of just being confined into this area or this box or this title or this role, you know, and that's all you can do. And that's how a lot of people, you know, lack of a better way of putting it, die early. Some of us are walking dead early. Man, I come from a family, man, where the women, most of the women in those families die before their husbands. You know,
that's odd too, because most times women have a longer life expectancy. But I mean, think about how much that can wreak havoc on your health, your mental health, your physical health, holding your authentic self in. Because
the ancestral men in my family were tradition to the bone.
Oh yeah.
You know, so and just by witnessing how nurturing those women were, that they had so much going on inside that they just simply couldn't be, and it tore them down.